This September, lenders, AMCs, and the GSEs will begin issuing orders for the new UAD 3.6 Dynamic Report. For a while, both the older UAD 2.6 and the new UAD 3.6 reports will be requested and accepted until the new UAD is fully transitioned to in November of 2026. Most software vendors have chosen to present the Dynamic Report as a new web-based program that collects information in much the same way as TurboTax, a wizard interface. This type of interface collects information, then the user clicks Next, then more information and more Next button presses until the final report is generated at the end. With Appraise-It Pro, you'll build your new dynamic report pretty much the same way you've always built reports, by filling out fields in a representation of the finished printed report. You'll see the report as you build it. We're also building the new dynamic report into the existing Appraise-It Pro program, allowing you access to the new UAD alongside all the existing report types. The tools you use to complete a report also stay the same. Common responses, the comp database, street maps, etc. And third-party services are also working on updating to support the new UAD 3.6 as well. The dynamic nature of the report is at the heart of the new UAD in Appraise-It Pro, featuring date pickers, drop-down menus, and expanding text fields, doing away with the need for extended comments. And as you fill out the report and check checkboxes, the report expands and builds itself automatically. Additionally, the new UAD Dynamic Report will introduce side-by-side comps to Appraise-It Pro, an often requested feature. Interested in learning more? Join us for one of our monthly UAD 3.6 webinars by visiting training.sfrep.com and checking out our training calendar. Or watch previous webinars by visiting our YouTube page at youtube.com/SFREP. The new UAD Dynamic Report in Appraise-It Pro from SFREP. Familiar, easier, and more straightforward. Welcome everyone. Matt Johnson over here at SFREP in Charlotte. Get this squared away here. Glad you could join us. I was asking in the chat where everybody was watching from. So if you'd like, I'd love to know. Just go ahead and put it down there in the chat. So the chat's either going to be on the right-hand side or it's going to be down on the bottom, depending upon what device you're watching this on and how you have the screen. My name is Matt Johnson. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here in the evening. I do these sometimes mostly for the West Coast, for the Pacific time zones and the Mountain time zones, because it catches them in the late afternoon for them. So if you are on the East Coast like I am, welcome. Thank you for joining me a little bit after dinner time. I do really appreciate it. I'm not going to take up too much of your time today, but we do want to show off the new UAD interface in Appraise-It Pro. And this is the first of the webinars that I've done where we are actually, post September 8th. So it's now September 11th, if anybody's watching this after the fact. And we have released, we really wanted to fully release and be ready and approved by the GSEs on everything. Actually, I'm going to turn on a light here. There we go. Be fully ready to go by the GSEs. We just weren't able to get that to happen, partly because we're the first ones to be doing that process, and we're uncovering a lot of things that are needing to be fixed on their end sometimes and on our end. So we're the first ones to go through it. We're kind of the furthest along. So we're getting that wrapped up, and we're hoping to have a fully usable version of Appraise-It Pro's UAD 3.6 interface later on this month. For right now, we have a public preview out. And what that means is that Appraise-It Pro, you can basically go in and do everything and play around with the UAD 3.6 interface. You just can't make Mismo XML and deliver a report. The GSEs will not let us allow you guys to create Mismo XML because they don't want uncertified Mismo XML files floating around out there. So the cool thing though is that it is available for anybody and everybody. You don't have to sign NDAs. You don't have to email our beta team. Anybody can get it right now. If you are currently an SFREP customer, all you're going to have to do is just go to the support tab and then click on check for updates, install that update, and bam, you've got it. If you are not an SFREP customer, well, the cool thing is you don't have to pay for it because we give it to you free for 6 months, and you don't even have to give us a credit card. That is no strings attached, fully functional for 6 months, so you can go ahead and play around with it. And I'll tell you how to do all that when we're kind of done with this webinar. Just looking where everybody's chiming in from. Indiana. Let's see. We got Boyertown, PA. I kind of have heard of Boyertown. I think it's a little small town. San Jose, California. Let's see here. So, I've been to San Jose. Cool town. I love Northern California. Southern Illinois, Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Welcome, Kelly. Kelly's in Gulf Coast. I went to Axe in Bay St. Louis 2021. Yeah, because it was, I think it was right after COVID. We were still wearing masks, so I remember that. Davenport, Iowa, some more Mississippi. Seattle, Washington, home of Axe for 2026. So really looking forward to doing that. Rock Hill, South Carolina. Anita, right down the road from me. I'm here in Charlotte, so good to have you here as well. Strangely, Rock Hill, like the 4th or 5th biggest city in South Carolina. It's a suburb of Charlotte. So welcome, everybody. So what we're going to do here, not going to take up a ton of your time, but we're going to take a look at the new UAD interface in Appraise-It Pro. So this is Appraise-It Pro when you first launch it, and this is the Appraise-It Pro that you can get right now, and I'll tell you how you can do it a little bit later. When you first launch Appraise-It Pro, you're going to be in this area called the backstage. This is kind of a welcome screen, and this is where we put information that we want you guys to be aware of, but we don't want to necessarily have to call you or send out emails, things like that. It's just a little place for you to get some information. In the backstage, and by the way, if you use Microsoft Office, this is all going to look quite familiar to you, and that's not by accident. We use the same development environment that Microsoft uses to program Microsoft Office, so it looks very similar. So if I click on this little arrow up here, it's going to take me to the editing area of Appraise-It Pro. I don't have a file open right now, so that's just blank. I'm going to go back to the file menu. This is kind of like a super file menu almost. So you got the same things you would normally have in a file menu in a older program. Welcome, you got new, open, search, settings, etc. What I want to show you first is I'm going to come over here to new. We're going to start a blank new report, but we're going to come back to this in just a minute. I want to go over here real quick to the UAD 2.6 because one of the cool things about Appraise-It Pro that I want to show you guys is that you're going to be using the same program for both UAD 2.6 and UAD 3.6. You might be thinking, well, why would that matter? We're all about UAD 3.6. Just keep in mind, you're going to be using the UAD 2.6. You're going to be doing both reports for about the next year and a couple of months. So the UAD 2.6 is just as important as the UAD 3.6 is going to be. In other software, specifically in ACI and Bradford, you're going to have to go between two different programs. Their new UAD 3.6 interface is in a brand new program. They call it Workbench for ACI, and they call it Nighthawk for Bradford. They're web-based, and currently, and as far as I know, for the foreseeable future, they don't have the UAD 2.6. You're going to have to go back to your older software in order to do that. So you're going to be going back and forth. With Appraise-It Pro, you're going to be in the same program. So right now, I have a UAD 2.6 report open. I can come in here and fill it out. But if I get a UAD 3.6 report or order, well, all I have to do is come in here, and instead of selecting UAD 2.6 in this grouping right here, I'm going to select UAD 3.6. Right now, it says public preview. This, later on this month, will change into public beta. But we can't call it a beta right now because you can't actually deliver a report. Now there are, and I know most of you have gone through the CE already, but there are three primary report types. There's only three. There is the update, there's the completion, and then there's the URAR. And the URAR it's a dynamic report. So keep in mind, you don't have a condo, you don't have a 2055. All of that goes away. You just have one report to rule them all. Okay, so I'm going to open up the URL here so you can see it. And this is live. We've basically finished the groundwork for the new UAD 3.6 interface. Now, it is important to say that we got to manage expectations here. It is kind of bare bones at the moment. We have it to a point to where once we get certified by Fannie and Freddie, you will be able to do a UAD 3.6 report and create MISMO XML and deliver it. But it's going to be kind of a bare bones experience right now. So there's a lot of manual stuff. We don't have some of the databases connected. We are, once we get to our public beta, we're going to have a lot of the databases connected up. You're going to be able to use the sketching software, and we're going to make some improvements, some quality of life improvements to make your life easier. So keep in mind that when you play around with it right now in the public preview, it's pretty bare bones, okay? But you're going to get the gist of what it's going to look like. So over here on the left-hand side, we have the report panel. This is your table of contents. And unlike the UAD 2.6, where you can move these around and reorder the report in any way you want, the GSEs do not let you do that with UAD 3.6. It has to be in this order. And there's a reason for that, because they want every single report, UAD 3.6 report, to kind of look the same, feel the same, be ordered in the same. The order of the report, the order of the pages in the report, so that you can go a couple pages in and find your sketch. You know that your features page is going to be a couple pages in. You know that down at the bottom, you're going to have your conditions and quality ratings definitions. You flip back to the back. So this will always be in the same order. All right. We have these panels here. This is the way we do Appraise-It Pro. So we have the report panel. That's your table of contents. You got your validator here. The validator is going to be checking you as you do your report. And it's going to have real-time validation and then comprehensive validation. The real-time validation is happening while you're actually doing the report. Cool way to show that to you. If I come over here to the subject property, if I go here and I say Charlotte, and then I come in here and I put NC and I tab out, it's fine. It's completely happy with that. But if I have fat fingers and I say BC and I tab out, well, that's a Canadian province. It's not a U.S. state. So it turns it red. So this is just a quick example to show you how it's kind of checking on you as you are doing your reports. And then when you are done with your report, before you deliver it, you're going to click on the real-time validation, the comprehensive validation button. That's this one right here. And then what it's going to do is it's going to send your report through what's called an API, an application program interface. Basically, it's going to send your report up to a server. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold in case you can't tell. It's going to send your report up to a server at Fannie and Freddie. And then it is going to check your report based on the same exact method that they're going to use to check your report once they receive it. So you're going to head it off at the pass, any kind of problems that you're going to have with your report, because we're going to check it right now before you deliver the report. And any problems, we're going to flag them so you can go ahead and change them. So that way you won't be embarrassed because you got something wrong, something weird. They're not going to have to come back to you because you're going to get it taken care of before you ever deliver the report. Up here in the upper right, this is your responses panel. And this is where you can set up your common responses. Now, we call them common responses. They're called different things in different software packages. A common response can be a one-word response, which is what I have here for the city, or it can be 2 pages worth of text. It can be 3 paragraphs, whatever you want it to be. And we give you the ability to actually assign them to an F key. So if I'm if I'm mainly in the Charlotte market and I'm always doing reports in Charlotte, what I can do is, you can see over here, I've set that to be F4. So now if I just hit F4 on my keyboard, it's just going to fill in Charlotte for me. All right. All right, so we'll do F4. There we go. Anywhere you see the purple box here, because this is going to give you, this is the format panel. In UAD 2.6, this is kind of your UAD helper, but it kind of probably is going to go away in the UAD 3.6. I don't know if we've made a decision on what we're going to do with it for right now. Right now, we're just kind of using it as a color key, and you can see that purple means image field, so I could just double click there and I could browse in a photo. So I can come over here to let's see, pictures, and then house photos, and then we'll put a house photo in there. There we go. So that's how you can browse things in. Now we have an image manager program that makes this a whole lot easier. It gives you a graphical user interface so you can deal with and interact with your memory card or wherever, your camera, if it's directly connected into the program. That's coming. But for right now, you're just going to basically either paste something in there or you're going to double click to browse it in. Nicole says, is there a mobile app version of this so we can fill it out on an iPad at the property? There will be. At the moment, no. It has taken all of our bandwidth and everything we have to get to this point. We are working on the mobile app, hoping to have the mobile app by this fall, October, maybe November, somewhere in there. And we're also, and to my knowledge, we're the only ones who are going to be doing this. We also are going to have some pre-printed, or not pre-printed, printable checklists that you can go out in the field. Because there's a lot of people who don't want to use a mobile app, and that's fine. You go to these CE courses and they're like, oh no, you have to use a mobile app. You don't have to. You probably are going to want to, and it's going to be better if you do, but you don't have to. So we're going to have checklists that you can also print out and take with you so you can just use your clipboard like you always have. And that's one of the things that we're really selling you here on in Appraise-It Pro is we don't want to change the game. We don't want to change the way you've been doing things. So you're going to be filling out a graphical representation of the report just like you have for 10, 20 years, however long you've been doing this. You've been filling out, it's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So you're filling out a graphical representation of the report, and we keep that same paradigm in Appraise-It Pro. It's the same thing Alamode is also doing, but not ACI and Bradford. They've chosen to go more of a wizard route where you're kind of, you're not really interacting with a graphical representation of the report. You don't even see the report until the very end. But mobile app, yes, absolutely coming. I'm still under an NDA, so I can't say too much about it, but you're going to love it. It's going to have great sketching. We're partnering with Apex on it. So it's going to have great sketching, obviously. It's also going to have data collection. It's going to have photo collection. And then coming in the spring of next year, we're also going to have scan to sketch. So I hope that answers your question. Sam says, how long will it take to fill out this report once we get up to speed? I don't know yet. One of the things I'm working on right now, Sam, is I'm reverse engineering one of the GESE scenario reports. And that's one of the things that I would recommend everybody do. Do a evaluation on your own home, on your sister's home, on your mom's home, wherever. Or you can do what I'm doing, which is just kind of taking, because I'm not an appraiser, so I'm taking one of the scenario reports that were given to us by the GSEs, and then I'm like reversing it back into Appraise-It Pro. It's going to take longer because there's more stuff, there's more data. But like anything, you're going to get very good at it, and you're going to, be able to do shortcuts. And it's, as you go along, when we get into the Christmas time of 2026, we're going to be pros at this. It'll be old hat. So I don't know, exactly. But it's not doom and gloom. It's not going to take you that much longer. It's going to take longer, but not that much longer, I don't think. And then, is it Malin from California? Will we be able to create templates? Absolutely. I know that ACI is not letting you do templates. I don't know about Bradford, and I think Alamode is like quasi letting you do templates, but we most certainly will let you do templates. It's kind of at the heart of Appraise-It Pro. So yeah, you will most certainly be able to pre-fill out stuff and open it up and have all that stuff waiting for you to start a new report. Absolutely, we do templates for sure. A couple of things I want to show you here. First of all, side-by-side comparables. This is something that Alamode has said they're not going to have until next year, I believe they said. But we're going to be launching with it. So if I come over here to sales comparables and open that up, and these are our comparables. Now see, right now I just have the subject, but I can just click and add additional comparables. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and close this blank report, and we'll open up one of the GSE scenario reports. so you can kind of see it. And we actually distribute these scenario reports along with Appraise-It Pro when you install it, so you can kind of open it up and see what a real report is supposed to look like. Although, be forewarned, these scenario reports were not made by appraisers, so some of the information is a little bit weird, but it gives you an idea of what it's supposed to look like. So if I come back down here to the sales comparables, you can kind of see a grid that is all filled out. There you go. And then just to add additional comparables, you just click on Add Comparable, and you can just keep going out here to the side and adding more and more comparables. Same thing with listings and things like that. Let's see here. Will it check for prohibited words? Yes, it will. Absolutely. That's going to be part of the validator. That's going to do your spell checking and everything. The spell checking is not in it yet. That is something that I believe is slated to be added. And I want to pull up something here. So give me just a second. That's something that is slated to go in to Appraise-It Pro this fall. Okay, so look for that this fall. I was going to pull up our timeline. Let me see if I've got it linked here. Let's see here. Knowledge base. Most recent. Here we go. So I'm going to pull this over so you guys can take a look at it. This is our development timeline. So September 8th, that's where we are right now. Limited production begins. This is the GSE timeline. This down here is our timeline. So we're here. So the MISMO 3.6 export removed pending final GSE verification. And then the integration API is available to third parties. So that means that, people like Spark and, MapPro and DataMaster, they're working on their integrations for the UAD 3.6. So it's now available for them to start working on that. Later on this month, when we do our initial public release, and it is imminent that we're going to have that ready. That is going to introduce the MISMO 3.6 export. We're also going to have the UAD compliance API integration. That's that thing I told you about where the validator is going to check the servers over at Fannie and Freddie to make sure that you got everything in there correctly. Street Maps integration. You're going to have the sketching applications cooked up. So Apex and then our own Sketch-It and Sketch32 are going to be working. And then you'll have help text for the new dynamic reports. Q4 of this year, that's going to be fall. Follow-up beta releases are going to have the lender's database, the report search, spell check, the ability to open up a MISMO 3.6 file. So if somebody sent you from another software, somebody who has, say, Alamode, sent you a MISMO 3.6 file, you'll be able to open it up and treat it just like it was a regular report file. We're going to be able to include static addenda, PDFs, and documents. I'm going to show you this here in just a second because this is important. And then the mobile application should be available in Q4. And then as we go into January, that'll be the initial production release. And that's going to be kind of the 1.0, but it's not going to be, it's like 3.7 or something like that. But that'll introduce report and MISMO 3.6 importing. So you'll be able to import both UAD 2.6 and UAD 3.6 reports. Of course, remember, there's only about a 6% overlap. So you're not going to be bringing in all that much from UAD 2.6 reports. And then you'll be able to cut, copy, and paste comparables. And then in the follow-up in 2026, we're going to add these features as well. Man, I'm going to keep up with you guys on your questions. Let's see. Let's see. Let's read these questions here. I got to pull it over here because I don't have the best eyes here. Let's see. Gaming VPN says, how do you add adjustments? I don't see a field for that. We have automatic adjustments, and then the adjustments, that stuff's going to be down here. So you would add in your adjustments in some of these fields right here, these blue fields. Sam says, are y'all linking to local multiple listing services to automatically pull in comps? Yes, both through a service that we have called CompLink. And then it's kind of a basic service where you kind of export it as a comma separated value, and then it'll bring that information in. And then also with a service that I love that will come probably in early 2026. It's a service called, why am I blanking on it right now? It's called, where is it? Profit.ai. Really cool service. if you've not tried it out. Whenever you get Appraise-It Pro, even if you're a demo, you get 5 free lookups for it. But what it does is you put in your username and your password for your MLS, and then you also it has a backdoor into your local county records, and so it helps you by plotting stuff out on a map so that you can see where all of the listings and comparables are. You get to choose your comparables, and then it'll show you the information from the MLS and the information, including photos, and the information from the county records, and you can kind of see where there are discrepancies, and you can choose which one you want to use. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Sorry, there you go. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Now, the couple of things I do want to show you guys. And by the way, you're asking about adjustments. It's right here. These are where you can enter in your adjustments here. Now, one of the things I do want to show you, and a lot of people don't know this about the new UAD 3.6. You cannot in the final container. So whereas you just basically had a Mismo XML file in UAD 2.6 and then it had the PDF embedded in it, in UAD 3.6 it's going to be a zip file. And inside that zip file, you're going to have the Mismo XML. You're going to have all of your photos. You're going to have the PDF. And then you're going to have all of your exhibits. But those exhibits have to be in JPEG format. They have to be images of your exhibits. All right? Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to automatically, let's say you put a 3 or 4. Now, they don't want like 30-page PDFs in there. But let's say you have a 3 or 4-page PDF. What we're going to do is we're going to convert that PDF for you automatically into those JPEGs. So it'll kind of be seamless. You won't have to worry about it. But that's not working yet. That's coming very soon. But for right now, it's not. So, and this is what I mean by it being bare bones. Let's say that I've got 2 monitors here. I'm going to pull up a PDF here. All right, I'll get rid of that. Let's pull up this right here. Okay, so this is just a dummy PDF. All right. It's just gibberish. But there's 2 pages here, or 3 pages here. So this is just for testing purposes, okay? Now, it depends on which PDF reader you use. I'm using Foxit Reader, which is a free program you can get, which I think rivals Adobe Acrobat. But you can do the same thing in Adobe Acrobat as well. In Foxit Reader, you use a thing called a snapshot tool. So it's under the home menu. I click on snapshot, and then I just click and drag the little box over the first page, and it automatically copies it to the clipboard. So now I've got to use an image editing software, and I'm just going to use a very simple one that I love and recommend to everyone called IRFANView, IRFANVIEW. And I'm just going to paste it in here under the edit menu. And there is my image, now a JPEG image of that PDF page. And now I can just save it, and I'm just going to call it clipboard1.jpg. Yes, I want to replace it. And now I'm just going to come up here to assignment information. Anywhere where you see this, so assignment information exhibits, I can add remove images. Right now, it's literally images. So if I click on that and I come back over here to my desktop, here is that image there. So I'm just going to double click to add it in. I can put multiple pages in, but that's all I can do here. I'm going to put in that JPEG, click close, and now you'll see it says 1 image. So this is important. This is how you actually put exhibits in. There's no exhibit pages. You're actually going to put exhibits in, but for right now, this exact moment, it has to be an actual JPEG image. We are going to have very shortly, like before fall, the ability where you could actually just pop in a PDF right there, and then it'll just convert it to JPEG images for you. But that is how the GSEs made the UAD 3.6. You can't put PDFs in there. They have to be converted to JPEG images. Okay? So right now, when we launch this, so you can start doing UAD 3.6 reports later this month, you're going to have to go through that whole rigmarole, and we'll help you with that. And I'm going to make some videos that'll show you how to do that, what I just did. So a couple of extra steps. But that's only going to be for like maybe a month or 2, and then we'll have the PDF conversion that will be in there to make that easy for you. Yes. Fannie Mae Appendix D1 does have the actual reports, but what we have done is, and we put them into Appraise-It Pro, and they're going to be in there when you install Appraise-It Pro. They're already in the form of an Appraise-It Pro document, so you'll just be able to open it up. So you don't have to like fill them out. Now, I would say you probably should fill them out, because that way you're going to get very familiar with how to use the new UAD 3.6 interface. Can I show the update and completion report? Sure. We'll close here. Come over here to File. We'll go to New. And where is it? Oh, so here's the completion report. So I can just double click here. So here's your completion report, original appraisal. Here's your information from the original appraisal here. You'll be able to, eventually you'll be able to pull all this information in from the original appraisals report file. Assignment information, certifications. There you go. We'll close that out. Go back to New, and then we'll open up the URL. Will there be an interface to pull comps data into the report without retyping? Yes. That will be the comp manager program I told you about, or you can also use Profit.ai. It does the same thing, kind of. And you'll also be able to import comparables from a previous UAD 3.6 report, or we have a program called Comp Manager, which every time you do an appraisal report and you put comps in there, it archives all that information about those addresses that you used as comps and as subjects, and then puts it into a database, and then you can go back in and you can pull all that information with photos back out and reuse it. So we have a program that does it, but you could also just, manually import it in from another report as well. Now, one of the cool things about the new UAD is the dynamic nature of it. So as I come up here to, we'll go to subject property. As I come down here and I say, oh, attachment type. So now it's all pull downs, check boxes. There's some narrative stuff and some, text boxes, but there's a lot of pull downs and a lot of check boxes. And as I use this little pull down here, I can select attach or detach. Well, just right here, I'm telling the report that it's either a single family home or it's a townhome or it's a condo. So if I say that it's attached, it now knows it's either a townhome or a condo at this point. So it's things like that. As you start filling it out, the rest of the report starts morphing. You don't even see it. It's happening in the background, so that now it knows, okay, we're going down the road of this being a condo or a townhome. And you can kind of see this in a good place to see this would be like the cost approach section. So right now, this is a blank report. There's no cost approach. Hold on. There we go. I keep forgetting. You don't want to look at me. So I want to show you that. But let me go back over here. So subject property, attached, detached, there's a little pull down here. Okay. And then if I select attached, it knows it's a condo. It knows it's a townhome. It's going to modify. Okay. So now if I come over here to the cost approach, there's no cost approach in this report right now. So the second that I say cost approach no, then it kind of gives you a placeholder page here. There's nothing on it. As soon as I say yes, boom, there's your cost approach. It just fills in right below it. And now you can start filling that stuff out. You can do things like, description, add an improvement. I can, type that out and put the amount there. If I come back over here to the sales contract page, this is where you can really see it kind of flip in. So say yes, yes. You see the thing just starts morphing, and you're really filling out the human readable, the kind of representation of the printed report. Yeah, sorry, Kelly. Noob mistake, I'm gonna blame it on being sick, That's kind of what I wanted to show you. For those of you not familiar with Appraise-It Pro, there's stuff about Appraise-It Pro that I really love that will make your life easier that don't necessarily have anything to do with the UAD 3.6. Things like tabbed browsing. So up here at the top, I've already opened up all of these pages, and they just kind of remain opened up here, just like it would in a web browser. And I can flip between them. I can even move them around and reorder them if I want. And then when I'm done with them, I just click on close. I can even take it and I can pull it out so that it's a free floating window, and then I can put it on another monitor if I have multiple monitors. And the other thing I really love about it is if I come over here to File, I can come over here to New Window. Now that will open up a whole new instance of Appraise-It Pro so that I can have I can be working on, trying to be ultra productive. I can be working on 2 reports at the same time, or I can have 2 reports open, maybe an older UAD 2.6 report and a UAD 3.6 report, and I can be copying and pasting between them. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, hey, how can I get in on this action? Well, if you come to the main SFREP website, which is very easy, it's just sfrep.com. That's it right here. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this, free demo Appraise-It Pro. When you click on that, it's going to try to save that file. I recommend saving it to your desktop. Once it's done saving, you double click on the installer, let it go through the installation just like any other program, and it will put an icon on your desktop that looks like this. Now, this is our old Appraise-It. This is what it's going to look like, this icon right here. When you do that first run of Appraise-It Pro, it's gonna prompt you to register, and I can show you what that looks like by doing it manually. Oh, hold on, I gotta close the report to do that. This is what it'll look like. It'll pop this up, and you'll be able to register if you're a current customer. But if you are not an SFREP customer, you're going to do request demo. Now, we also distribute Appraise-It Pro as a UAD MISMO XML reader. And this also, by the way, allows you to have full access to your files if you stop being a customer of ours. So unlike other software providers, we don't lock you out of having access to your files. You will just be able to do it as a report viewer mode. If you ever left us and, I don't know, moved over to Ala mode or somebody, you'll still have access to all your old files. You'll be able to print them out. You'll be able to search through them. You just can't edit them, and you can't do a new one, but you'll be able to have access to your old files. All right. Gaming VPN. Let me see here. I got a little thing that's blocking that. How to add a dwelling to comp in the SCA, and how to add the relevant field to it. I don't know. You a little bit above my head on that one right now. I'll tell you what, gaming. I'm going to give you guys my direct information. I'm the communications director over here. And if I don't know the answer to that, I'm going to find it out for you. So what I want you to do, if you don't mind, is get a pen and paper ready. I'm going to give you my information. My email address directly is matt, M-A-T-T, at sfrep.com. You can also use training at sfrep.com, and that's going to come to me as well. Put that into the form of a email, and I will find that out for you, and I will give you some screenshots and send that back to you, okay? And then if you need to get in touch with us as a company, you can just call 800-644-4051. And I don't know how many companies are going to do this for you. I'm going to give you my direct number. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because then I'll start getting spam texts and everything. But I'm going to give it to you. So write this down. Area code 828-919-9082. That's 828-919-9082. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it into the chat. That's my direct number. That's my office number. Now, probably calling me, I may not answer. But we have one of those fancy voice over IP phone systems because we all work from home. And it allows me to get text messages on my office number. And I am very diligent about answering my text messages. I even answer them after hours. So you can text me at that number. Feel free to also call. Just leave a voicemail more than likely. But if you text me, chances are I'm going to text you back. Okay? But you can also email me as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Anita, let's see. Will we be able to update an old report? I love how you spell old, by the way, O-L-D-E. An old report from 2.6 to a new report that is 3.6. So my good buddy from Ala Mode, Joel Becker, we're actually all friends, believe it or not. He likes to put out the figure, and it's an accurate figure, that there is only an overlap between UAD 2.6 and UAD 3.6 of about 6%. And the reason for that is, remember, UAD 2.6, we have all those weird abbreviations. They don't translate to UAD 3.6 because there are no abbreviations anymore. So it'll bring over like the address information and a couple of key demographic information, but there's not a whole lot. You will be able to do it. You're just not going to be happy with the small amount of information that's actually going to come over if you do that. But no, you'll be able to do it. Now, of course, once we've been doing UAD 3.6 for a while, you'll have a bevy of UAD 3.6 reports that you can pull from. And those you, of course, will be able to pull anything and everything, including the entire report, out of one of those and use it in your new report as well. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, no problem, Steve. Does anybody have any other questions? Remember, if you have some questions, like we always archive these. So you can, that email that you were sent today and yesterday, that link is just going to work in perpetuity. So you can archive that email. You can send that email to other people and they'll be able to click on that link there and watch this video. As a matter of fact, when we are done here, I'm going to trim up the video so it doesn't have all of that, starting soon stuff in the beginning, and it just gets right into the meat and potatoes of everything. So you can, if you are watching this after the fact, feel free to email any questions you have to Matt, M-A-T-T, at sfrep.com. Matt at sfrep.com, or you can also do training at sfrep.com. That all goes to the same place. Okay. And then if you need to get in touch with us, or if you want to try everything out, 800-644-4051. Now, I told you that all you have to do in order to try this out is to go to our website, click on this, download it, install it, and then you'll do the registration process. When you do that, you are going to have Appraise-It Pro. And this is the registration window, remember. You're going to have Appraise-It Pro for 6 months absolutely free. There's no strings attached. You don't have to give us a credit card number. Nothing. If at the end of the 6 months you decide it's not for you, then we shake hands and part ways. So there is no obligation for you to try it out. Okay? But you will be able to play around with this for 6 months, fully functional, and it'll update itself too. So when we release the actual public beta where you can actually start delivering reports, you'll get that as well. You'll also have access to helper applications like our sketching and all that kind of stuff. And you'll be able to do a trial of our mobile app when it comes out to test that out. And you'll have full access to our tech support. We don't tier out our tech support. Our tech support is this number right here. Where is it? There it is. 800-644-4051. So when you're actually installing this, if you need some help, we will be happy to do that for you. Also, if you are a demo user, we have a trainer. Her name's Lindsay. She will actually log into your she'll set up an hour-long time with you. She'll log into your computer and she'll show you how to use Appraise-It Pro, both the UAD 2.6 and the 3.6. She'll kind of hold your hand and show you how it all works. We also have a bunch of videos, but she will do it one-on-one with you. So we're kind of really serious about, we want to make this as easy as possible of a transition for you guys, okay? Kelly, I especially want to see you because getting in on this because, you're a Charlotte person, or almost. Charlotte Metro person. Kelly said, I think it was Kelly, right? I think you're everyone from Rock Hill. I have installed the demo, but where do I get the FNMA provided comp examples? I don't have that in front of me right now. But I believe, if I remember correctly, if you go to open and then you go to open report, I think it shows up in data, or there's going to be a subfolder here. Email me, matt@sfrep.com. I'll get you those paths so you can navigate to it, and I'll tell you how to get to it. It got passed around as an email and put into our Slack channels, and I don't remember where it is right now off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Anita asks, how do we measure the height of the front door? Man, I tell you what, this height of the front door thing is, it has, I hear that so often, like, what is this? What do I have to, how do I do this? Don't freak out. They don't need to know to the millimeter the elevation of the front door. The reason for this is for flooding purposes. So if the street starts to flood, they want to know how high the door threshold is from the ground level. Okay, and you just got to eyeball it. It's no big deal. Take your measuring tape, and then just kind of eyeball it. They want to know roughly. They don't want to know like to the 10th of an inch or anything. They want to know, is it 2 feet? Is it 1 foot? Is it 1.5 feet? Is it 8 feet? Or is it up on stilts like they have in the coastal Carolina? That's what they want to know. Okay. I have a feeling that's going to get taken out. Also, that broadband question, I think, is going to get taken out. Mostly because right now, they do not count satellite internet as broadband. And that was because they probably wrote this before Starlink was a thing. And there's a big difference between geostationary satellite internet and low Earth orbit satellite internet, which is what Starlink and Project Kuiper and a couple others are doing. So I would look for that question also to get modified soon, or taken out entirely. And that's the cool thing about the UAD 3.6 is that it's very extensible. It can be added to or removed very easily. Very easily. Let's see. That's right. Yeah. Appendix D. Now, Appendix D1 is on their website, which is, I think Fannie Mae's is uad.fanniemae.com, and you can go to that appendix. But like I said, in Appraise-It Pro, and that's why I want you to email me because I'll tell you what those folders are. We have already converted those into Appraise-It Pro files, so you'll just be able to open them up. And that's what I have here. This right here. That's what this is. So if I open this up, it's this scenario, but in Appraise-It Pro form. So you can actually look at it, play around with it, etc. So let's see. Oh, that's right. So Kelly's not the one in. Now I got to go back and see who was in Rock Hill. Who was it in Rock Hill? It was Anita. Anita's in Rock Hill. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Does anybody have any other questions? Remember, if you are watching this after the fact, or if you're shy and you don't want to ask in the chat, matt@sfrap.com or training@sfrap.com. And I just want to take the moment to just say that it's been a journey to get to this point. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of weekend work, lots of traveling on my part. This year I've been to Myrtle Beach, I've been to Columbus, Ohio, I've been to Austin, Texas, I've been to Las Vegas, and I'm going back to Las Vegas for Appraisal Summit here in like 2 weeks. And then we're going to Seattle in the spring. So a lot of traveling, a lot of working late, like I'm doing right now. And we hope you guys are going to really like what we have. And, now's the time to look at other software packages because you're going to have to make that demarcation line between UAD 2.6 and UAD 3.6. All of your old files are not going to really be of use to you anymore. So now's the time to look at what the other software vendors are doing and see who is doing it the way that you would like to do it. And that's why we're giving our stuff away for 6 months for absolutely free, because we want you to take a look at ours. So you can do that by just downloading it. You can also call us 800. Let me pull that back up here. You can do, if you want to do it the old fashioned way, we love to talk to you as well. So you can just do 800-644-4051. Or you can email sales@sfrap.com. Say, hey, I want to get in on this UAD thing. And we'll start the process with you. We'll give you a call and everything, okay? And to get me, training@sfrap.com as well. Let's see. When do we expect to release the field checklist? Good question. Remington, our CEO, and for a CEO, he is very in the trenches with us. He does a lot of this stuff. He helps us out. If you're going to Appraisal Summit, you get to meet him and me. We'll be there. But he is writing those now. I would expect for those to either be released later this month or in the fall. So that may be one of those Q4 things, because it's tough to get time to do something like that. I think we would like to have it ready for when we do the public beta, but if it's not, it'll be that Q4. So it'll be, I would say, fall. So October, November, somewhere in there, somewhere around Halloween. So, any other questions, everybody? And it's been, let's see, did I forget anybody here? Let me look back. Is it Sergey? Is in Seattle. Anita's in Rock Hill. Laura's over in Davenport, Iowa. Sam is in Mississippi, along with Kelly is also in Mississippi. Steve is in Southern Illinois. My family's from Southern Illinois. My family is from Alton, which is right across the river from St. Louis. Let's see here. And then, is it Millen? I hope I'm saying that right. Is in San Jose, California. And then Tori is over in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Good talking with all of you guys. I always love chatting with you guys. Feel free to text me right after we get off of this. I'll be in the chat here for just a little bit longer after we stop the video, and I'll answer any questions that you might have lingering. If you come up with some other ones, feel free to text me. Remember, it's area code 828-919-9082. I put it into the chat, and I'll put it in there again here in a minute. Feel free to text me at that number or give me an email, matt@sfrep.com. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening. It is now almost 8 p.m. I've got some Big Brother to go watch. I'm a big Brother fan. I don't know if anybody else is. Thank you so much, and I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care, everybody.